Morning, Geeks! Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine.com. How you doing? Good morning. It's time to geek out. It's time to get your coffee on. It's time to get your geek on because it's a geeky kind of day. Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine.com. Think Magazine put in a geek. Let me take a drink here. Tasty coffee. I love the coffee. I hope you love the coffee too, and I hope you're having a great morning. Great morning for you on this Friday, May 20th. And happy Emancipation Day for Florida. And happy Independence Day for Cuba. And happy World Metrology Day. Not meteorology, but metrology. What is that? That is the science of measurement. Man, the science of measurement. Man, I have no idea. So happy World Metrology Day. I was trying to say metrology. So now I've got it. It's all good. It's out there. So happy Metrology Day to all of you. And we'll go from there. So, I think my cat wants to come say hi. Hi, cat. What? No, I can't. No. Stop it. It's my garage sale find from last week. It's a cat paw. It's the only cat I'm going to really own. It's a cat paw. So, garage sale find of the week. Anyway, what's new this week? Well, if you go over to Geekazine.com, you're going to find some really cool reviews and stuff like that. We got the Netgear Nighthawk X4S review. I also reviewed the Samsung Galaxy S7 and the Case Logic Contrast DSLR camera case. This is a camera case I've been schlepping to different areas with me for the last few months, and I'll be taking it to San Francisco next week, and then of course Las Vegas the week after. So speaking of which, let's talk about schedules here. Next week, I'm not we'll say no show, but if I've got the bandwidth, then and everything works out, then maybe we'll have a show. But I will be in San Francisco attending a wedding for the weekend. Of course, it's Memorial Day weekend next weekend, so we'll try and get something out. If anything, I'll get a new to this week out and then just push that. But we'll be up in Sonoma Valley, so if you're up in the Sonoma Valley area, come say hi. We can definitely meet up. I'll be there until June 1st. So June 4th June 3rd we'll have a show. The following week there might not be a show because I will be in Vegas then. But the whole point is next week might not have a show. So as for new tech, I didn't get anything new, but I can show you what I got last week, which I didn't have before. This is the Kodak Pix Pro. This is another 360 camera. This one is in 4K and pretty cool. I did some video tests already and I'm very impressed with it. So we'll be reviewing that and going from there. Excuse me. All right, what else we got here? We've got a chock-full lineup of everything, including the fall. Everything got canceled last week. This week, boom. New geek shows and some pretty cool geek shows, and then some not so cool geek shows. But hey, it's all good. That's how it all works. Before we get started, one apology last week, as you probably noticed if you watched the live version, I was like 10 seconds off on the audio. I've sent it all to Facebook. I said, hey, there was a problem. What's going on? And we'll see what happens. But as far as I know, last week's episode pretty much unlistenable. So I put a link to where you can find the video. Of course, you can find the video in different places. Of course, on Facebook for Facebook Live. I also put it up on YouTube, so you can go over to youtube.com/Geekazine, and then of course the iTunes show. You go over to Geekazine.com. It'll be on iTunes. You can get it from there. Subscribe via your iTunes and watch it from there. So, all right. With all that said and done, we got some new music. Let me know about this background music what you think about it. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, geeks of all ages, let's get into. Before we do, what do you think of the new studio? Look, I made some changes, so let me know there. But anyway, all right, let's get into the news this week. We're gonna start over at Atari. There we are. Let me get figured here. Atari makes plans to turn video games into movies. They're working on a Centipede and Missile Command movie. Both of these games are Atari Golden Classics, and those games, which I've always fawned over when I ran out of quarters at the local arcade, will be interesting to see how they turn them into movies. But the real question is, will they be great movies? Maybe we should ask Adam Sandler on that, because, you know, he's kind of already done that, you know. Anyway, let's move on. Imagine, excuse me. Imagine there's no borders. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Imagine that you're a job you love, you do it for 71 years, and then you keel over after ironically performing the song, "There's no business like show business." That's what happened to Jane Little, the bassist. She's a bassist, and she's been with the Atlanta Symphony since 1945, when she was 16. Now, it's too bad that James Corden and Alanis Morissette updated the song "Ironic" last week, because now I could actually hear the lyrics to this. It goes, "An old woman played bass all her days. She lugged it to and fro just so she could play. At the final note of the show business song, she passed away and now her dreams are all gone. And isn't it ironic that I've got an Irish accent?" I have no idea. So, but that's yeah. Let's move on. Yep, this yes, there we are. Yes, this is Cosmopolitan, the Cosmopolitan Life. Owning Count Dracula's castle is now possible if you have the $13 million that is expected to go out on auction block. Blah. Yes, $13 million. If you've got $13 million lying around, you can own yourself Count Dracula's castle. That'll suck the blood right out of you. And yeah, okay, we've got this episode of Morning Geeks does have cats, including the cat paw, and a whole bunch more. But meet Kevin. Kevin is really cool guy. He is what is known as the cat that always looks surprised. What? That is when his eyes are wide open. When his eyes are closed, he doesn't look too surprised. He kind of looks sleeping. Anyway, the cat has a condition called hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus or something like that. Basically, it was a buildup of fluid in his brain that makes him look surprised all the time. What? Okay, other than him looking alarmed, it could be the next level of cat memes so, you know, somebody like Grumpy Cat. You might want to watch out, because your job might be taken very, very soon. Very soon. We got Transformers, Trekkies, Birds, and fall lineups all in new to this week. That's all we have for the Transformers movie. Production starts in June. Angry Birds comes out this Friday with a full cast starring Jason Sudeikis, Josh Gad, Danny McBride, Maya Rudolph, Bill Hader, and Peter Dinklage. Everyone will be flipping the birds to this movie in theaters today. This coming Thursday is Red Nose Day. If you haven't bought your red nose at Walgreens, then head there to do that. This cause helps children who are in need. The special airs on NBC Thursday, May 26th. We got a lot of fall previews this week. We'll start with Fox, as they're pulling out all the stops this Halloween with the remake of the cult classic Rocky Horror Picture Show. The remake will have Tim Curry as the narrator and Laverne Cox as Dr. Frankenfurter. Adam Lambert will play Eddie, and Ben Vereen plays a rival scientist. So we might be seeing a slightly different version. So hold off on your rice and toast at this point. Live-action animation is part of Son of Zorn, starring Jason Sudeikis, Cheryl Hines, and Tim Meadows. The He-Man-looking character leaves his land and comes to America to reconnect with his moody teenage son. So this means there was animated, live-action sex at one point. Of course, they won't show it, as this is Fox and not Pornhub. Traveling to the past in a duffel bag, that's what Making History is all about. Adam Pawley travels back in time and accidentally stops the Paul Revere ride. Therefore, he recruits Yasser Lester to help him navigate through and keep the timeline straight while they just go back and forth mucking it up. Funny thing is, it's not the only time travel preview we have, and that includes a play on the classic movie The Time Machine. This one should probably be left in the past. APB is a high-tech drama starring Justin Kirk, who witnesses his best friend get shot in the 13th District of Chicago. Since Kirk is a rich man, he decides to buy the district and redesign how crime is fought. He creates an app called APB and stocks the force to the hilt with technology to find the bad guys, especially the ones who killed his friend. This looks to be a thought-provoking show that could have a chase overtake the technology. After all, how many times can you bring in a drone and have everybody geek out over it? Moving over to NBC, we get a taste of the next time travel show premiering. Timeless is about a company that develops a time machine. One person decides to go back and change history by bringing down the Zeppelin. We then get a modern-day time cop movie without the Jean-Claude Van Damme. Sorry, no roundhouse kicks either. But we do have Matt Fuhrer, Max Headroom, in this drama. Moving on to CBS, it's the show we can't wait to see and won't unless we get the CBS On Demand app. Star Trek teases in so many ways. Next up is Pure Genius. A philanthropist creates a new type of hospital where the technology is at the forefront, starring Guilford Adams, Odette Annabelle, and Dermot Mulrooney. Then we have Bull. No, the show's called Bull, starring Michael Weatherly. It's an offshoot of Dr. Phil. Yeah, I said Dr. Phil. Early in Phil McGraw's life, he ran a consulting service that helped analyze a jury to develop defense strategies. Of course, Weatherly also has that James Bond factor, so I guess there'll be a lot of flirting in the show. That brings us to another reboot show in MacGyver. Lucas Till is the bubblegum-chewing, then-making-a-bomb-out-of-it MacGyver. He becomes a part of an organization that uses his talents to prevent disasters from happening. George Eads, from CSI, joins the cast to help the reboot blow up, or maybe not blow up. Anybody got a paperclip? What does ABC have? Well, talking dog show? How about Time After Time? No, not the Cyndi Lauper song, but another time travel show. Yes, another time travel show. This one's actually hinges on H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. The story goes that Jack the Ripper finds out about H.G. Wells' invention and jumps into the future to continue his fetish. Wells has to come to the present to hunt him down. And how does Jenna Elfman come back to TV? With an imaginary friend, of course. Imaginary Mary is about Elfman and her childhood friend that comes back just when she gets involved with another who has a full family. Moving to the CW is Fast as Supergirl. Frequency is getting a TV reboot starring Peyton List and Riley Smith, who even has an old radio in their house anymore. Of course, with the Supergirl on CW, that might bring a lot of crossovers with Green Arrow and The Flash. It'll be nice if they actually shake things up a bit. Why not have the 3 shows where characters jump across like frogs on a highway? Fresh ideas might make for successful shows. And that is new to this week. I was very serious about taking the show and actually expanding it. So, it's not just Supergirl on one time slot and The Flash on another time slot and Green Arrow on another time slot. It's just basically the Supergirl, Flash, Green Arrow show. And just kind of put them together and see what you can do with it. Kind of push the boundaries on TV shows. I've always been interested in people that actually take shows and move them to other shows, or characters and move them to other shows. Like, for instance, if somebody from CSI moved over to Criminal Minds and used the same character name on there, just to kind of continue life. Because I can't change my name. I can't just become Gilfroy Baru. I have no idea. That's so, but it would be kind of cool to see a TV show where some sort of consistency like that would happen. But we'll see what happens and go from there. Of course, if you're a geek, you're really geeking out on all those shows. Getting back in, but first I want to say what's up to Scott Liberto, and of course Jeff Adams. What's up to you, as well as you guys commented. Looks cool. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Jeff Adams. I saw him a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas. So cool. Thanks for watching. And then of course Alex, thanks for liking the show. You can go over to facebook.com/Geekazine and like the show as well. You can tweet me me over at Geekazine and go from there. But we've got more news that we've got to get into. And let me just, here we go. Bloody-o! Lego! Oh, where'd it go? Let me just hold on. Messed up. There goes live show mess up. Bloody-o! Lego just came out with the Big Ben in their expert set. The set retails for $249.99 and will be on sale in July. It's $249.99, and I should probably know how much in pounds that it is, because, you know, that would make more sense. So let me do the calculation really quick. It's usually about half of the price is the pounds, so that would be 125-ish pounds right there. But let's get back into my voice and talk about it this way. It'll be on sale in July, and yeah, that's basically it. So I got to see Big Ben back in December, and I must say, it looks bloody close. Not Glenn Close, but bloody close. That's definitely for sure. So let's talk a little bit about, where is it? It's not there. Let's talk a little bit about, maybe I haven't done. No, I messed up on my stuff here. Oh, here we go. What are the big announcements for Google I/O? Let's take, whoops. Messing up left and right. Ah, there goes the show. It's catastrophic. Catastrophic. Anyway, let's move on. What are the big 10 or the big announcements from Google I/O this year? Well, we'll start with their VR platform called Daydream Believer. No, it's just Daydream. And it doesn't sound like an Android. It's going to be an Android extension, but part of their Android N project, which is basically part of their VR area in Android. VR headset is also in the works. Google has debuted Allo, a messaging app, Duo, video phone, and competitor to FaceTime. I thought that was actually their Hangouts. That was the FaceTime. Anyway, their smart speaker that's going to compete with Amazon Echo, the next generation Google Assistant, Android Auto for your car, and Android Wear 2.0 for all help of all your wearable technology needs. Now, as you know, I have myself a pair of Google glasses. They're right here, and they're pretty much defunct. So if anybody wants to buy these $1,500, you're not going to pay $1,500 for Google Glass. Nah, it's not going to happen. So. But anyway, we'll see what happens with Google I/O and go from there. I see where I messed up. There we go. Okay. You know, I've been to Ford's campus a few times in my life, and I learned a lot about how they're making their cars a little bit more green. This brand new CO2-based foam seat padding is a perfect example. Turning waste carbon dioxide into polymers has been around for a few years, but hasn't really been to the point where they can actually put it into cars. Well, now that they can do that, they will be able to save 6 million pounds of oil every single year, and that's pretty cool. So let's move on from there, and a really inspiring story right now. James Young is a man who lost his arm about 4 years ago in a railway accident, and he was basically an avid video gamer. And he lost his arm up to the shoulder, and that, of course, that really set him back on his stuff. But video game Konami kind of heard about this story and decided to do something. So they worked with robotic engineers from Open Bionics to create a prosthetic that can give him his gaming arm back. The arm connects to his shoulder, and which is the only thing that remains from his original arm. The arm does more than just game. It can actually charge a USB device. It can point a laser light. It can tell him the time through a digital watch, and a whole bunch more. Now, the Phantom Limb project is now available, and it's in full swing. So they're going to be working with other amputees around the United Kingdom right now, and I'm guessing eventually around the world. Might I suggest one of the more famous people that doesn't have an arm, and that be Mr. Rick Allen, the drummer for Def Leppard. Could you imagine if he got a prosthetic and started playing? If it works now with the hand, I don't know if the hand how functional the hand is, but it looked like the controls were there. So you kind of move the shoulder around and use the ghost pane to actually trigger the fingers from what I was reading in there. So interesting stuff. We'll be following it as we go, and I'll be excited to see how this really plays into the future of robotics. Because that arm looked like something from Bicentennial Man. Robin Williams was the robot in Bicentennial Man, so that would be really cool. So we'll see what happens and go from there. Anyway, that does it for this episode of Morning Geeks. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to once again thank Scott, Jeff, and Alex for being on the live show, and I know there's a bunch more there, so thank you very much for coming to the live show. Of course, you can watch the show over on Geekazine.com. You can watch it over on Facebook.com/Geekazine, YouTube.com/Geekazine, or on iTunes. Just go look for Morning Geeks, and you'll be able to get that. And of course, every morning, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That makes it about 5:30 in the morning Pacific Time. So if you're up at 5:30 in the morning Pacific Time, you're probably playing with your cat. So, anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. We will see, maybe not next week, but in 2 weeks, as I'll be in San Francisco. It'll be 5:30 in the morning for me at that point. So we'll be in San Francisco. So like I said, I'll see what I can do about getting a show out. But if not, I will be back in 2 weeks so you guys can geek out the right way. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.